the heart of America, a place where life is simple, where neighbors are friends, Farmersville, Illinois. Thanksgiving is about family, food, and warmth. But 2021 held a different story, a chilling tale of violence and loss. The day began like any other. Families prepared feasts, children played, and the aroma of pumpkin pie filled the air. But beneath this normalcy, a storm brewed, a storm that would shatter Farmersville forever. The house on the outskirts of Farmersville stood silent. Nanette's apprehension grew with each step. She knocked, her hand trembling. No answer. Sirens pierced the silence. Deputies swarmed the house. A detective approached Nanette, his face grim. He confirmed her worst fear. Leslie was gone. A single gunshot wound to the head. The world spun around Nanette. Her vibrant, beautiful friend was gone, snatched away in a flash of violence. Inside the house, the scene was chaotic. Furniture lay overturned, a testament to a struggle. Blood stained the walls and floor. As darkness fell, the investigation was just beginning. Leslie Reeves was a woman of many layers. She exuded confidence and strength. A master's in engineering, a passion for Pilates, and empowering women. She moved with grace, her energy infectious. But beneath this vibrant exterior, Leslie carried vulnerability.
Chris Smith defied stereotypes. A towering figure with a booming laugh, with a gentle heart. His calloused hands from pool contracting were also nurturing life.
In his spare time, Chris gardened, coaxing life from the earth. He grew exotic banana trees and giant pumpkins, sharing with the community.
Friends called him kind and generous, with a mischievous sense of humor. He enjoyed simple pleasures, a cold beer, rock music, and his dog Tiki.
Despite a tough divorce, Chris remained optimistic. He poured his heart into work, family, and community. In the vast digital landscape of online dating, Leslie and Chris's paths crossed. Drawn together by shared interests, they exchanged messages. Leslie was drawn to Chris's gentle nature. Chris was captivated by Leslie's vibrant spirit. Their conversations flowed effortlessly. As days turned into weeks, their connection deepened. They agreed to meet, stepping out from behind their screens. Josh Easton, a man accustomed to the cold touch of death, felt a shiver run down his spine as he stepped across the threshold. The air inside the house was heavy, thick with the metallic scent of blood. His eyes, trained to see the details others missed, scanned the room. It was Leslie. Her once vibrant eyes were now vacant. A single bullet wound marred her forehead. Easton knelt beside the body, his fingers gently probing for a pulse. Bloodstains and bullet casings. Easton moved with practiced efficiency, his gaze sweeping across the room. The bloodstains told a silent story of a struggle. They trailed from the living room into the kitchen. The kitchen was a tableau of carnage. Slumped against the cabinets was Chris Smith. Unlike Leslie, Chris still clung to life. Easton noted 2 spent shell casings on the floor. The pizza that told a story. The scent of burnt cheese hung heavy in the air. Easton's gaze fell upon the oven, its door slightly ajar. Inside, a pizza sat blackened and forgotten. The pizza, half eaten, suggested a night interrupted. And then in a flash, everything changed. Easton's mind raced, reconstructing the events. The pizza, a symbol of normalcy, stood in stark contrast to the carnage. A chilling conclusion. As hours ticked by, the initial shock gave way to determination. Easton, his face etched with fatigue, documented the scene. The house, once filled with promise, now stood as a silent testament to a love story cut short. Easton felt a surge of anger and resolve to bring her killer to justice. The investigation was far from over. This was personal. News of the tragedy spread through Farmersville like wildfire, leaving a trail of shock and disbelief. The idyllic village, once a sanctuary, was now grappling with the brutal intrusion of violence. Neighbors gathered in hushed whispers, exchanging anxious glances. As investigators pieced together the events, a name surfaced. Bobby Tarr, Leslie's ex-boyfriend. A man known for his volatile temper and possessive nature. A man who had cast a long shadow over Leslie's life. The whispers grew louder, fueled by grief and anger. Friends questioned why Leslie had agreed to meet Chris, knowing Bobby might be lurking. Had she underestimated the danger he posed?
Leslie confided in me about Bobby's controlling behavior. He isolated her and subjected her to verbal abuse. Leslie, once vibrant, had become withdrawn and fearful. It was heartbreaking to see her light dimmed. She tried to break free, but Bobby tightened his grip. He bombarded her with calls and messages. I urged her to go to the police, but she hesitated. Now, standing before the investigators, I can't shake the feeling that I failed her.
As suspicion swirled around Bobby Tarr, investigators retraced Leslie's steps.
I had nothing to do with Leslie's death.
Bobby's words rang hollow, his demeanor shifting between grief and anger. The shadow of doubt hung heavy over Farmersville. The interrogation room was cold, the air thick with tension.
I don't know anything about it. I was at home that night, alone.
He claimed ignorance, but the investigators saw through his charade. They knew about Bobby's history of violence.
This is all a mistake. I didn't do anything.
Investigators pressed him on his whereabouts. Each question chipped away at his wall of lies. They could sense his frustration growing. The interrogation stretched on, the detective's patience wearing thin.
I don't know Chris Smith. I've never been to Farmersville.
Investigators presented phone records placing him near Chris Smith's house.
This is all circumstantial. You're framing me.
Bobby dismissed the evidence as circumstantial, accusing investigators of bias. The interrogation took an unexpected turn when the detectives introduced a new witness, Shelby, Bobby's teenage daughter.
He has a temper. He's controlling. We were always scared of him.
She described his volatile temper and controlling behavior.
He left late that night.
Shelby's testimony shattered Bobby's carefully constructed image. It exposed him for what he truly was, a man capable of unspeakable violence. With Shelby's testimony, the detectives returned to Bobby, their resolve strengthened.
I don't know what she's talking about. She's just a kid.
He stammered, trying to explain away Shelby's words.
Look, I was just trying to protect her. I didn't do anything wrong.
They presented him with more evidence, a gas station receipt and surveillance footage.
Okay, I was there, but I didn't kill anyone.
Bobby finally broke, confessing to being at Chris Smith's house but maintaining his innocence. Days turned into weeks. Chris Smith clung to life.
I don't remember much from those days. It was like being in a dark tunnel.
His family kept vigil by his bedside.
My family never gave up on me.
Then one day, a flicker of consciousness. Chris opened his eyes, his family rushing to his side. Chris's recovery was slow, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit.
It was tough, but I knew I had to keep going. Giving up was never an option.
He approached therapy with determination, enduring countless hours of painful exercises.
Every step was a victory. I had to fight for every inch of progress.
His progress was slow but steady. He relearned how to walk and speak.
The support from everyone made all the difference. I couldn't have done it alone. As my physical wounds healed, the emotional scars lingered.
Realizing he was a victim of senseless violence was hard to comprehend.
With my family's support, I refused to let the darkness consume me.
Chris found solace in music, reconnecting with his bandmates.
My voice regained strength as I poured my heart into each note.
Chris knew his life would never be the same. The tranquility of Farmersville, Illinois, was shattered on Thanksgiving Day. The quaint houses bore witness to the darkness beneath. The violence within Chris Smith's home shocked the village. The scars of that day etched themselves onto the community. As the wheels of justice turned, Farmersville grappled with the case. Bobby Tarr, accused of tearing apart their community, awaited his fate. The legal battle promised to be long and arduous. Families of Leslie Reeves and Chris Smith faced an uncertain future. They sought solace in faith and community, hoping justice would prevail. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the whispers began. Whispers of what if? What if Leslie had never met Bobby Tarr? What if she had listened to her friend's warnings? The questions swirled like fallen leaves, impossible to silence. Amidst the grief, a glimmer of hope emerged. The tragedy brought the community closer, forging bonds of compassion. The memory of Leslie Reeves became a beacon of light. The Farmersville horror would forever be etched into the village's history. But it did not define them. It did not break them. Instead, it ignited a fire within their hearts. They transformed their pain into purpose. The community rallied around Chris Smith, offering unwavering support. They celebrated his small victories, his indomitable spirit a source of inspiration. They embraced him as one of their own, a symbol of resilience. The tragedy revealed the strength of the human spirit, the importance of cherishing every moment, of living each day to the fullest. And as the sun rose each morning, casting its golden rays upon the fields, there was a sense that hope had not been extinguished.
It's been a long journey, but the support from everyone has been incredible. It gives me hope that we can all find a way to move forward, together.